nation rise. Wouldn't think of full time. So we stop being victimized, organize and centralize. Take the shackles off your mind. Black nation rise. Hold your head up with pride. Them no care about black lives. Now the ship a capsize. Open up your mind. Firstly, every African a queen and king. Know your past and you will know yourself with it. Black man not got our color and no sin. Never trade my roots, me proud of my skin. Sing I forget the old slave master Jim. Pan back with fasting. And you know them now bring them from the plantation. Nowadays a prison. Hear the ancestors them singing African hymns. But we have to rise up in order to win. We have to see a floating sinkings and we can't sing. Call out the black leaders in our communities. We stand against injustice and stand for unity. And in action rise. Wouldn't think of full time. Do we stop being victimized, organize and centralize. Take the shackles off your mind. Black nation rise. Hold your head up with pride. Them no care about black lives. Now the ship a capsize. Open up your mind. Freedom must come with a cost. You can't know the future if you don't know the past. If you sight the fullness, if you don't know the half, them milk the mother cow and them want kill the calf. Check the status, it's off the grid off the graph. Look how much blocky youths them kill off the Ross. Classism, racism, black brother them a ball. We have to fight all if we back against the wall like a bengy roll. Bengy roll. Go back to your roots and your ruin yourselves. We did that with our friends, no one time to rebel. By the KKK, no black brothers, them hang them in the suburbs, we in the projects, yo, you know see the trend. In a 2020, yo, we still a go pretend like slave master and slave bikini. They my friend, like Black Panther. Take a stance, yeah, my friend can't play cover, rise up from lions den. Reaching out to the rude boys and all the ragamuffins. You will fall for anything if you stand for something. Black nation rise. Couldn't think of full time. To be stop being victimized, organize and centralize. Take the shackles off your mind. Black nation rise. Hold the head up with pride. They no care about black lives. Now the ship a capsize. Open up your mind.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon, Jamaica. My sincere apologies for the late start. You know, today is like a Friday. Because, you know, people asking for lunch and I have to make sure that lunch is out. To God be the glory. The only thing I have left now for do, if anybody want any pastas done to order. I know pasta just that may have leave. I don't think even, I think probably a one serving a soup leave. But I am grateful. The only thing is the deliveries are out. I just pray to the bearer able to finish up the deliveries. Yeah, today is Thursday, but I'm not cooking tomorrow. Jamaica. So what has happened? Una see how me look. Una see how me look. Claudia, tell them how me from una see the sauce and this and that and Ray and tea. It's a long day. Boy, students, it has been a very long morning. But You can pass the next phone for me, please. The Midday connection phone. It's somewhere about the place. The one they play the music with. Boy, Alfred Dawes not backing down. Alfred Dawes not backing down Jamaica. You see it? That no, that's on a Midday phone. That's the TikTok. But pass the TikTok phone. Ask them the other phone in the kitchen. Ask them for pass it. The Midday connection phone. Yes, students. So, me never really cook a lot, you know, because I have to gauge according to. But I appreciate say, everything when I cook basically done. But a lot of going in the country. Plenty are going in the country. Lord peace. You just say 1 EPA passa. Now say what I call it? 1 EPA passa. But Alfred Dawes not backing down. But that's for later, Jamaica. With that, this for later. Today we're going back into St. James. Today we're going back into St. James with the Queen. Them would have called her Queen of the South. Queen of the South. That's what is her political name. Queen of the South. So today, Jamaica, we're going to find out what is happening in South St. James. So the opposition spokesperson on information, Al Ellis, AI Ellis, you love over here? You love over here? You spend more time over here than you do your government work. Oh, I forget, say, only just depend contract. Well, I know I come to an end in the next 3 months. The next 3 months, well, I know I come to the end. Me not look for Jamaica, when me can buy some, may I go down, Auntie Claudette, may I ask you if you go down a Jamaica packaging? I ask them for some clearance box. Me need, how much ministry? 14 or 20? Me need 20,000 bucks. Because they not get for trade not file this time, Jamaica. We're going to find all of the documents there. We're going to find all of the documents in the next 90 days. Deliverance coming to Jamaica. Who agree with me? In the next 90 days, deliverance is coming to Jamaica. Who want deliverance? Say deliverance. Who want deliverance? Say deliverance, Jamaica. And because we're going to get a deliverance, make we reverse.
But where it come from? Send it back. Every evil arrow. Anywhere he come from. Send it back. If a China, if a Jamaica, if a Haiti, where he come from, we send it back. Third, reverse the curse. Reverse the curse. Reverse the order. Reverse the curse. Reverse the order. Somebody say, reverse the curse. Yeah. Reverse the order. Somebody reverse the curse. Aye. Reverse the order over Jamaica. Reverse the curse, mighty God. Reverse the order. Yeah. If a king's house, if a garden house, if a the prime minister, if a the opposition,
Jamaica! Rolling Stone, Rolling Stone, Rolling Stone, Rolling Stone, Rolling Stone, got no mass, Rolling Stone, Rolling Stone, Rolling Stone, Rolling Stone, I got no mass, Rolling Stone. That's not coming. No set destination. Hear the note. Oh, Jesse Bell. Rolling Stone. Fight your need.
favor.
Dance, Nickeisha.
Old persecutor,
Rolling Stone.
no set destination,
Rolling Stone.
just sweet salvation.
Hey.
Rolling Stone,
Rolling Stone.
Rolling Stone,
Rolling Stone.
Rolling Stone, gather no mass.
Rolling Stone.
You see,
Dance and worship.
I am warning you.
Tell them Queen of the South. Tell them Queen of the South.
Whatever it needs,
Queen of the South.
God no one, no lion. He no
One,
want no
no
thief.
thief.
He no want no lion at all.
We have a band. Hey.
God no want
We have the trumpet.
no lion. He no want
We have it. We have the sound the trumpet. Sound the trumpet. Jamaica. Sound the trumpet.
No bad creation. Sin mash up the nation.
Rolling Stone.
And I cast temptation.
Rolling Stone.
John caught the revelation.
Rolling Stone.
To warn all the nation.
Rolling
I
Stone.
beg you seek salvation.
Rolling Stone.
Rolling Stone.
Jamaica, good afternoon. Despite all that is happening in the country, you know, when you want to get a deliverance, you have to do a praise break. You know, when you're in a Pentecostal and an apostolic church, when you want to get a breakthrough, you have to give a praise break. I say that to say, Jamaica, with all that is happening in our country, despite the treasonous leadership that has taken over this country, despite the treasonous leadership that has taken over this country, there is a 90-day there's a 90-day expiration date on them. Hello, caller. Good day.
Good day, sir. How are you?
I'm quick, but I'm on a program with a guest. How can I help you quickly?
Oh, quickly. Okay. So I had an incident with the police.
All right.
Based,
So I'm going into a political discussion right now. If you're watching me on my platform, I have a guest. I don't think I'll be able to accommodate that discussion at this time. All right?
Okay, so next week then.
Yeah, man. Probably tomorrow
right,
you can call in. All right?
Oh, you're open tomorrow? Okay, thanks. Okay, bye-bye.
Yes, man. I'm on midday connection tomorrow. Mm-hmm.
Okay, thanks.
Bless
Okay,
you.
bye.
Mm-hmm. Nickeisha Burchell, good day. You're muted.
Hello, Andre, and hello to your viewers and listeners.
Queen of the South, good day.
Good
A labor right asks me is who give you the crown. Can you tell them who give you the crown?
Boy, you see, where we're from in South St. James, up in the hills of Catadupa, Moko, Garland, Springfield, Kensington, we consider ourselves kings and queens because we are direct descendants of people like Sam Sharp and the Flagstaff or Trelawney Town Maroons. We fought, our foreparents fought for this land, helped us to get the abolition of slavery, not just in Jamaica, but across the Caribbean. They refer to me as a sister, a daughter, a queen, and I to them. They are kings and queens. So we're proud to wear the title of Queen of the South because that's what the people call me. I'm embracing it, and we're moving forward because we have a deliverance mission, as you call it, coming in the next 90 days.
A deliverance to come.
Mm-hmm.
I saw recently that you opened your constituency office.
I'm very excited. I'm very excited about it, Andre. So the constituency is quite large. It takes up to 2% or so of the entire parish of St. James. The other 4 constituencies divide the rest, right? So the land mass is great. In order to service all 4 divisions and the people living there, we have to set up satellite offices, which is quite audacious to do when you're in opposition, actually. It's quite expensive to do as well. People have been asking me, where's your office? Where's your office? Well, our councillors and councillor candidates have offices in the Welcome Hall division in Kensington, in Maroon Town, Constituency has one, and in Catadupa we have one in Cambridge Square. The people of Anchovy and Anchovy Park needed a space where
Yes.
they come, find their representative, or get information on projects and programs. So we decided to open an office in Anchovy, right in the heart of Anchovy Square. Mark, we have not won this division, the PNP, in a very long time. This is the biggest office we have, and it's quite well situated and quite well equipped. We are looking at it to be more than just an office where people come and set appointment and see the MP. We want to be a space of support for constituents. We call it a resource center. It's a large piece of real estate, by the way, over nearly 1,000 square feet. And we want to do a homework center for students. Right now, with Andre Horton, we are doing a CXC workshop for students who are preparing for the CXCs this year. Let me tell you, the response to that has been phenomenal. The math sessions, the English sessions, the econ sessions, we can't do much more, but there's a thirst from students across Western Jamaica for a space that can give them additional support at no cost to them or their parents. And we've provided that. I want to formalize that program and bring it to the resource center, so students don't have to guess or spell if support will come, not just at CXC time, but to help them to prepare their SBAs. A lot of them don't have internet access at home. You can come there, we'll give you access to a tablet or a computer. You can access the, do your research, print your SBAs if you need to. A very costly expense for parents and students. A lot of them can't afford to print it. We'll provide that kind of support for them. In addition to that, we're looking at expanding what I now have, which is called Southworks. It is a job bank. This job bank where persons who are seeking employment can reach out to me at southworksja@gmail.com or no, through the office, and I will help them to write or rewrite their resume if it is not quite there. We'll also help them to get jobs, and we've done that successfully since we launched this program from about October, September last year. We've placed over 60 odd persons in jobs across. We even placed someone as far as St. Anne. So wherever the job is, we go after it, we find it for you. And yesterday, I had a very proud moment when a young lady from a community called Richmond Hill, who I had helped initially to get a job in Montego Bay, she had waited from that job now. She decided to depart, and she has opened her own bar and restaurant in the community. And she reached out to me, asking me to find bartenders for her job. So can you imagine? She now is in a position to help others. And that's a part of the reason why we're also going to be using the office space as an incubator for small entrepreneurs. We have a number of them, Andre, in the constituency who can't afford to rent a space, especially in a prime area like Anchovy. And so we are retrofitting a part of the space where we'll temporary office space to persons who want to set up their barber shop, their nail tech, if they're a graphic.
Wait. I'm not constituency office this year.
I know. I am excited by it. I don't know.
I'm not constituency office this, Nickeisha. Set up a plaza.
It sounds that way, right? No, but really and truly what we are showing the constituents is that opportunities are there and they have talent, but they just need someone who believes in them and will go the extra mile to create opportunities for them. And so they work in, you set up your space, you have your clients come in for 6 months or so, you're on your good footing now, you can go off and launch and rent your own place and make space for the next batch of people to come in. We're creating opportunities for our constituents in this resource center.
No. I never hear of so this is a new model for a constituency office?
Well, I've expanded it, but this is something that I am aware that Senator Bunting has done in his Central Manchester constituency office. He used it back then to help like senior citizens to learn how to use the internet and stuff like that, and students with their SBAs. But I'm expanding it. I'm expanding the model, so I'm going to have to give kudos to Peter, but I'm expanding the model into South St. James, where access is limited for our people. A lot of them don't have internet at home. We want the older folks to feel comfortable to come down there for a bingo night. We want them to feel.
So that means the older folks soon can come watch. You need to set up a big screen at evening time for them come listen partner draw Midday Connection.
Absolutely. We have a TV there. We have a huge TV which was donated by one of our donors. So there is a TV there. They can come there. We will cook on certain days and operate a little soup shop, a little soup kitchen out of the facility for those who can't afford lunch to go to school. You can come there, you can get a hot meal, or if you're just in the vicinity and need some soup, some tea, we will alert you to the days when you can get something to catch up your stomach right there.
But this constituency predominantly has a history of voting for the PNP, am I correct?
Well, before this MP, the last one was PNP, and he was there for 7 terms. Derek Kelly, yes.
Derek Kelly was there for 7 terms.
He was there for 7 terms.
So I get to understand you have Omar Davis working.
I don't know. I mean, something had to get him to start working. I'm happy if I'm the catalyst for that. And the work that we're doing, I'm happy if that has been incentive enough to get him to do some work. We had complained, bitterly, even last year ahead of Burchell, for him to do something to clean the verges, get the lines pruned with JPS, etc. Nothing, so we suffered significant damage in South St. James in the hurricane because of what I consider just lack of proactivity from him, taking the initiative to go out there and prepare the space. And also, after the hurricane passed, there was not much from him in terms of support for those who lost their farm products, their plantains, bananas, their vegetables, and their crops. They were told mostly to just, try to get on. Myself, along with the councillors, the day after the storm, we went through the communities. We took names, telephone numbers, and description of the damage to their property and their homes, and we submitted it to the Member of Parliament and the other NIS units and someone out of the parish council as well. And to date, many of them have not received as much as an ounce of fertilizer. But I am very upset to know that so much fertilizer was donated to the government to be distributed to constituencies like South St. James, which is a farming district, a farming constituency.
So your constituency not get none of the fertilizer?
Well, I'm not aware of it because the demand from my people has been great. Where I've heard of fertilizer being given, it's not necessarily to farmers. You certainly have to be a supporter of the Jamaica Labour Party, maybe, because I'm also aware of I've been told of persons reselling this same fertilizer to legitimate farmers who are registered with RADA and who are out there needing the help to bounce back. I think an audit into this fertilizer scandal is needed urgently because South St. James has been crying out for that kind of support and we have not received it.
My God. So if you don't get the fertilizer, Dayton only get 50 bag of the fertilizer. The farmers in St. Elizabeth said them not get the fertilizer. How much fertilizer was it again? 72,000 or 12,000?
Let me apprise myself of that. I'm not sure of the exact figure. I'll get it for you.
I think it's about 72,000. I found out 72,000 bag. I think a 12,000 bag of fertilizer. But what is happening in this country?
But whatever the amount, it should have been shared equitably and prioritize the farmers. We shouldn't be hearing that persons from the ministry were selling it through their farm stores. That is absolutely unacceptable.
My God. 72,000. Yeah, man, it's 72,000 bag of fertilizer. So it's where them put them fertilizer there, Jamaica.
You would recall a video shot by Dayton Campbell some time ago where we saw a big truckload of fertilizer being offloaded at the home of the then councillor candidate for the JLP in one of the divisions in in his Eastern Westmoreland constituency. I don't know if you remember that video. It was laden, the truck.
Man, the night before the election, they were
Right.
putting in fertilizers in a house.
Right, the home of the JLP candidate, and the truck is reported to be registered and owned by Dave Brown, who is the MP in Hanover,
Yes.
in Eastern Hanover. So I don't know. I think the investigators, MOCA, etc., have enough data where they can try to
To
source
launch an investigation.
the movement of the fertilizer. It was a gift to the people of Jamaica, not to the Jamaica Labour Party and its supporters only.
Mighty God. So I like that you spoke about what you would be doing with the constituency office and not limiting it to only to just political happenings, but also assisting the students, creating the job bank, equally creating the soup, the soup kitchen, etc. But what is really your vision for South St. James?
Oh, I'm happy to talk about that. And you're probably going to have to stop me because when I start talking about this, I can't stop because it is quite exciting for me. I've spent the time going across South St. James, even though it's home, but I took on a new capacity. So I've been going around listening to the people. So I didn't just come to them with a plan to say, hey, this is my plan for the constituency. I've heard them. I've also done my research. I've interviewed past leaders, and I've heard where they were able to take the constituency and what their initial vision was. What I realized is that we didn't really have in any one place a 10-year or 20-year transformation plan for the constituency. So even if this MP changes office for whatever reason, there is a plan that the new MP can hold on to and carry to fruition. So I started out by working with them to develop a transformational plan for the constituency, which I hope to discuss with them when they give me office.
Yeah.
That plan, we use an acronym called South Heart, and HEART is an acronym to delineate what we intend to do in the constituency when I'm elected. HEART, as I said, is an acronym. H is for heritage tourism.
Yes.
We want to bring tour into South St. James. South St. James, as I said, Catadupa is the home of Sam Sharp. That's where he was born. He walked from Catadupa through the hills, up through Kensington, lighting flames of freedom, lighting the plantations all to Montego Bay, bringing the abolition of slavery with him through that act alone. We want to make from that an interactive kind of experience for tourists to follow that trail, to actually experience the food Sam Sharp had, to experience the kind of living conditions that they had.
And
cultural tourism, and make something beautiful of it. You know, Derek Kelly was able to work with the ministry and the government at the time to get December 27 to be recognized as Sam Sharp Day. But it is so packaged as a tourism product. The TPD Co now does what it can, but I think there is so much more that can be done. The actual birthplace of Sam Sharp is Croydon. There's an estate there, over 500 and odd acres of beautiful land. And we now have a private investor there that has a nice tourist product and attracts and employs quite a bit of people from the community. But the road to get to this property is absolutely inaccessible for vehicles and people. So we want to fix the roads to get to these products so that they can get more investors into it. The Flagstaff, Trelawney Town tourists, Maroons, South St. James again. Our cultural heritage is so rich, but it is not written about, it is not known, it is not told. We want to package it and get some tourists coming into South St. James. Imagine a night tour in South St. James with Duppy Story and cooking the soup and, you know, just really grating the chocolate tea. We have that already through the Benevolent Society that operates out of South St. James. We want to package it, make it a worldwide product that tourists can the hotels in Montego Bay, come up to South St. James and enjoy us. So, all right, that's heritage tourism. That's the H. E is for education and training. I don't even know if I need to say much about that, but the schools in South St. James do not receive the same kind of investment that the schools in the city and in more traditional environments receive. So our children don't take part of the digital learning that others do. Our classrooms are still overpopulated. We still have some instances of children using bathroom conditions that are less than acceptable in 2025. We also want to ensure that we have the best educators in our classrooms. A lot of times, the teachers, and we send a lot of people to Sam Sharp Teachers College from South St. James, they don't work in South St. James. They're sent and they're gobbled up by the other big institutions. We want to retain our best and our brightest, as Nigel said. We want to retain them in South.
You want to retain the best and nice, the brightest.
Yes, we want to have them there working to develop the educational capacity of our students. But education for us is a lifelong continuum. A lot of our people would have had to leave the classrooms to go tend to the farms and help their families as rural communities do. We want to create an opportunity for them to return to the classroom at whatever age they are without shame. Right, so we want to dignify it for them. The PNP did it before with Jamal, etc. We want to make sure that they can find comfortable opportunities and avenues where they can come back, come learn to read and write again, and learn the fundamentals of business, so that even though they're farmers or higglers or housekeepers, they know how to watch them money, manage their money, and make the best of themselves. So for us, education, lifelong learning, that's the vision for E of the HEART acronym. A is very special.
Do you have a high level of absenteeism?
Yes.
In your constituency of the children?
Yes. A lot of them still work at home or have to help out at home, and sometimes it's just the cost to get them to school, especially when they are, after they pass for high schools far. They have to take 2-3 different vehicles. The parents can't afford it. So we do have absenteeism at the schools there, but also students who live in South St. James and go to school in other parishes. It's really difficult for the parents here. That's why I'm excited about what the PNP has planned for education in terms of the food and the meals, 1 meal a day, and the university access for at least one member of the family. The PNP is using education as that great equalizer, and our children can have access, and that where they need help is given by a government that cares for them truly. A in the acronym of HEART is for agriculture and economic development. I told you already, agriculture is how we go rich in South St. James, right? We know how to farm the lands. We make the best yam. I don't care what Trelawney say. We have the best afu, the best yellow yam, the best renter, the best St. Vincent. We really and truly know how to farm with our banana or coffee or chocolate.
We know to farm, or the farmers know to farm. Well, you know about farming, Nickeisha.
What you talking about? I know how to farm.
What you can farm?
Andre, my great grandfather Harold Muirhead was one of the biggest coffee and then later cocoa farmers back in the days. I grew up on a farm in South St. James. You understand? On the other side. Don't ramp with me, Andre. On the other side, Tata John, my grandfather on my father's side, he too farmed many acres, and I plan to take over back them acres of land that we have in South St. James and show them through my own action that I'm interested in agriculture and that we can earn from it. All the orchard crops. 2 years ago, Floyd Green spoke at the agricultural show at Montpelier, and he said that he was going to be planting 3,000 acres of orchard crops in South St. James. That's the breadfruit, he said, and mango and ackee, because there's so much to earn from it. Up to now, not even one tree in a plant in a South St. James. Fast forward, this agricultural show in April just gone, Floyd Green came again and promised South St. James that he was gonna put a 600 billion investment in the in the research center we have at Montpellier. We're not saying we don't want the investment, but that is just madness. $600 billion in a research center. It seemed to me like Floyd was really just trying to catch the news or frighten somebody with these numbers he was pulling from.
So is where
We
that
want the
600 billion they come from, Nickeisha?
You'd have to ask him, because I don't think it exists. I don't think it exists. They just come with no plans. They come with these grand announcements like Silicon Valley in Trelawney and the AC markets that they're saying that they're gonna do. It's really pie in the sky to try to win an election and try to get the people confused about what really is the state of the country. I tell you about agriculture. So we want to make sure that our agricultural products are given the best support by government. Because what I know, Andre, is we have the soil, we have the farm knowledge, because we've been doing it for so long. We have the climate. And what we need is the investment from the government in the farm roads, the irrigation, the market access, and the agro-processing plants, where we can turn our pineapples into jams and sauces and purees, and we can put our turmeric, and we can put our ginger and our scallion and our pepper, and make the best things. And we can peel and slice our yams and package them and freeze them and sell them off to foreign land and make big dollars. So our farmers are not just getting just the basic price for their hard-earned products, but we are getting the value added as we go through the value chain with our farmers. We want to educate them about how they can earn more. And of course, if agriculture is not what you want, economic development is where we will make available to you stimulus packages.
You plan to do some serious agro-processing developments in South St. James?
100%.
Because I gather that you have a lot of these farmers across Western Jamaica and South Jamaica, but they don't have the processing plants. So what happens is that they will farm the produces, but they have nowhere to store them. And because there's no storage, the things are wasted.
Right. So we get a lot of spoil. We get a lot of spoilage, especially pineapple when there's a glut on the market, or if there's a hurricane or a storm. Last year we suffered. Our pineapple farmers suffered last year. So yes, agro-processing is big. There is a pilot project that was done when Roger Clark was minister. We're in Garlands, which is where I'm from. He had done a sorting and cold storage facility. But right now we need to help the farmers to form the cooperatives to take advantage of facilities like this. And then we expand them through what Dayton Campbell has envisioned with some container type agro-processing facilities and cold storage facilities that he can drop across the constituency and get our farmers prepared for the next step of their economic journey. All right. R is for roads and infrastructure. So the roads in South St. James, from I know myself, we've never had perfect roads. I've seen where some administrations have tried. I see now that belatedly, just before the election, this member of parliament is determining to patching out a few roads here or there. What I want to say is that we deserve better in South St. James. If you put in your Google app, when you're near Trelawney, thereabout, or entering Bay, ask them the shortest route to get to St. Elizabeth or to get to Mandeville and Central Jamaica and Clarendon. It would take you through the hills of South St. James, cutting through Trelawney into South St. James and back out into St. Elizabeth. I am trying to encourage, or I will encourage my government when we get office, to create a progress highway, cut the road because it already exists, but clean up the road, expand it, widen it, make a little highway through there so that we can open up Jamaica, open up South St. James and get us into Central Jamaica quicker. Because roadways and transportation bring with them commerce, they bring with them tourism, they bring with them, and I want to lobby for that so South St. James can have its own progress highway connecting us from Western Jamaica to Central Jamaica. So road is a big thing for me. And of course, water. We've been promised water by every Jack, Man, and Jill. Andrew Holness himself has been down there. Matthew Samuda touring here or there with the workers. In fact, Homer Davis said that he had commissioned, I believe it's $22 million, if I'm not wrong, $22 million, I believe he said he spent on a water project up in Lapland in Catadupa, and all know the people can't get any water from it. Yes?
Wow.
So we want something that is well thought out, no
Mhm.
questions about where the money go, if it is really being invested in the people, but the people need water. What I've said to them is that when I get in office, if I have 3 priorities, water is one. If I have 2 priorities, water is one. If I have 1 priority, it will be water, because water is life, and I'm gonna find it if it exists. As long as the water can come to South St. James, they can bet on their daughter to find it for them.
My
And of
God.
course, the last letter in the acronym is T for thriving communities.
Mm.
We can't survive any longer with our kids having to play football and cricket in the middle of the street. We want our green spaces and our community centers and our football fields to be maintained. Tomorrow
Mm.
is Labor Day, and you can bet you're going to see the member of parliament trying to scurry around to see which playing field he can jostle with the communities, to see if he can cut before they get a chance to come together and cut it in their communities. So you suffer us for the whole year. Suffer us for the whole year. Do not maintain the community centers and the playing field. But Labor Day, you might come paint something here or paint something there and think your work is done. We want to ensure that the work we do to give or to keep our people entertained and
Mhm.
socially engaged is coordinated and done for the benefit and the upliftment of the people in South St. James. We can't thrive if we don't have a space where the old people can come play bingo in the evenings and
Mm.
teach the young people manners and teach them how to stitch and how to sew and how to, bake dukuno and drops and stuff. Our culture is dying because the oral art of passing down the stories is dying. We want to create a space where the young people can come, play football, play domino, play ludi, and learn how to live together peacefully and
Yeah.
retain those rich cultural elements of our society. So
Mhm.
that is so hard in a nutshell, Andre. It is really bigger than that, but I use it, the acronym, so that people can latch on to the vision, and that
Yes.
together will create the South St. James that we want to live in, raise our families in, and
Yeah.
retire, of course.
Sounds like a solid plan. The heart from the queen. The queen with the heart. The queen with a vision. The queen with the heart. The queen with a vision. No, Jamaica. I I believe that this sounds. Students, just a pause me a second. Let me drink some of the nice Spanish water. And when you come to Kingston,
Oh, you show off, man.
you need to stop by me to get some of the good food. Then
I need it. I need it. And I'll bring some from South for you.
no, Jamaica, the nice Spanish water. When you see the steam, when you see the steam, Holy Ghost catch me. The Holy Ghost catch me. But you spoke about the heart in the last local government election. Oh, I don't think Jamaica realize oh the labor rights them all of a sudden come over here, Is a lot of them in the comments. And normally you would have see like 2 or 3, but of late you see 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 because them in a them media monitoring room. Them in a them media monitoring room. I gather that they're told to target the show at midday to throw off us and come particularly at night to throw off us. But we are not going to be caught up in that, Jamaica. We're talking about vision. We're talking about leadership. We're talking about how we want to change how things are happening, not only in South St. James, but across the length and breadth of Jamaica. In the last local government election, how did you pan out? How many seats were won?
Okay, so we went into the last local government election not having any representative from South St. James PNP in the parish council. We're 4 divisions, and we ended with 3 of those divisions going to PNP representatives, and the JLP retained the Anchovy Cambridge division.
What
So
you said?
3 out of 4. We went in having no representative from South, and ended up taking 3 of the 4 divisions in South St. James.
Mighty God. What you said, Nickeisha?
The people have spoken. The people were waiting for the first opportunity to send a signal to the Jamaica Labour Party that they were ready to change course. The Anchovy Cambridge division has been going to the Jamaica Labour Party over the last couple election cycles, and we lost that division by about 80 votes in this their largest and strongest division. So that was a little exercise, a little warm up for what is to come in the next
And I
couple of
get that you have made significant stride in the last year from then.
Absolutely. I mean, we've been polling the constituency. The JLP has been polling the constituency as well. And I mean,
you can easily say you're retiring, Oma Davis.
well, I'm working very hard to do that. And I'm joined by the thousands of supporters in South St. James. They are not feeling him, and I'm sharing what they've said to me. They are not feeling him. Even the work he's doing seems to be going towards those who support him directly, and they are not feeling him. Yesterday, I got a call. I spent about 30 odd minutes. I hope they're listening to some young men from a community called Marl Road in the division. Remember, Homer Davis was councillor there for many years. He was also mayor, and now he's MP. That division is still in the JLP with Councillor Baker. I was very impressed, I must tell you, first of all. They were seeking to come together as young men in their community to work on Labor Day project. But they wanted to know where they could access support from the government for the projects they had in mind to clean up their community, beautify it. I told them, as usual, that whenever you call me, you'll get me, and they can verify that. But I don't have the wherewithal that has been given through the tax purse to the Member of Parliament to assist with Labor Day projects. They wanted to know how they could get to the Member of Parliament to get some support for their projects, because every time they call him, they've never been able to get him on his phone or through his office or elsewhere. They don't know how to access support in the community, and these men were so upset. I mean, I had to listen and sit through their anger, but I understood it. What was curious was they were asking me who fires them? Who do you report to if your Member of Parliament is not working? Who do you report? And I was telling them that under the Constitution, the only redress they really have is to vote them out come the next election. But that to them and to me seems like a very long time before you can recall someone who is underperforming. I told him about the impeachment bill that was drafted by Mark Golding and rejected by Andrew Holness and his government, which would have given constituents an opportunity to recall their representatives if they are underperforming or if they're found to be wanting where ethics or the law is concerned. And that was rejected by Andrew. So they were directing their anger. Well, they were directing it at me, but they were expressing it. And I felt so horrible that community members are not so much empowered to understand that they have the right to recall a representative if they're underperforming. I said it. I mean, because they're like, I mean, can they get to Andrew Holness to let Andrew Holness know that their representative is not representing them? I said, you could try. Of course, you should be able to say that to him. But if you keep it quiet, if you don't go write a letter or go on the media and let them know, everybody's going to assume that, you know, your representative is taking care of you, and that's not the case.
Wow. Wow. So you're saying playing hide and seek?
Well, in terms of his work and the results of his work, absolutely. We are not seeing that kind of conscientious kind of leadership. We're not seeing anything different or transformational. The people are tired of the same old, same old. Yes, I might see you at a grave digging. Yes, I might see you a dead yard. But do you have the energy or the appetite to create new, exciting ways for your people to reach you, or for you to reach them, or for them to be empowered and developed as a community? That's the difference, you know? That's the difference between a leader or a representative who is tired of the job. They've
Yeah.
been on the job so long, them really and truly tired. And it's not about age, because we do have some older persons who have the vitality and the stamina, and they want to do the job. So every day they wake up buzzing with excitement. How can I make my constituents' life easier, better? How can I improve what I have come here and found? Some people really and truly just do not have the appetite or the capacity to think beyond what they've received. We want a representative in South St. James who can lobby for us, who has influence. I'm a deputy general secretary of the People's National Party and the shadow spokesperson for information. My party leader was in my constituency a week or so ago, and he told them, Nickeisha is very important to what we do as a party, and will be important to what we do as a government. You want someone who has influence, who can get a prime minister, a cabinet, to listen to them and to listen to the potential of your constituency and fight for you. And that is what Nickeisha Burchell will do for you. That's the difference between an expired leader and an inspired leader who is young, passionate, understands your struggle, and will fight for you.
So you are the inspired leader and Oma the expired one.
Well, I know I'm the inspired leader. I mean, he can claim the other title, or the people can give him the other title. What I do know is that the people have said to me, help us think through solutions for the constituency. And I've been doing that, and they've been excited by it. Them not see nothing yet, you know, Andre. Them don't yet, because my pocket can go only so far and no further. Can
Yes.
you imagine what I can do with a constituency development fund? Can you imagine the lives we'll be able to change when we get into office, if we're given the nod by the people to do right by them?
Yes.
Huh? Andre, when I get up in the mornings, I'm running some long days, some long hours, because I still have to do my private business while paying attention to the constituency where I want to represent, where my parents still live. And I get up in the mornings and just buzzing with ideas of things we can do, things I've read about, things I've researched, countries I've gone to, and I've seen how they've made a difference in the lives of their people, right? And so for me, I don't go to my bed thinking where me can find some money to thief, or where I can siphon off some money from here or there, or thinking that I'm a retiree and so I don't need to put out no extra effort. I am younger. I have the energy, the vitality, and the vision, and I'm giving all of that to the constituency that has given me and my family so much.
So apart from politics, you said you do other business. Is it like business that, what else do you do?
Yes, I have to eat. So, and I have to fund the politics I do. So I'm a communication strategist. I've had over 15 years training in communications. I was trained at the London School of Economics, where I got my master's in strategic communication. And I'm in a little niche market where I provide strategic communication support to political parties and campaigns. So I've worked on mostly successful campaigns across the region, countries like Grenada, Dominica, Bahamas, Guyana. The most recent one was in Anguilla, where I managed their communication, and we helped to elect the very first female premier in Anguilla, Cora. Premier Chorus. So I'm working behind a number of these political brands across the Caribbean, whether as individuals or as political parties, to help them. St. Kitts, Antigua, and
Oh,
it
so
goes.
you're instrumental in all of those leaders who have left the Caribbean of late.
Go again.
You're instrumental in many of those leaders who have been packed up and sent home of late in the Caribbean.
No, not all, not all. We've had more victories than losses, and I'm proud of that. I'm very much proud of that. I mean, I look at some of them. Of course, we have NDAs in terms of the work we do, so I can't really speak about a lot of it. But we've had way more successes than we've lost. You know, but it's
And
politics.
that's what I am saying. You have damaged some of those who
Oh
were
yes,
like,
yes.
so you were instrumental in the one who you know. Oh Lord, let me shut my mouth. Let me shut my mouth, Jamaica.
So communication is what I do. That's my bread and butter. That's what feeds me. And I've been operating as a communication director for the PNP since 2020, a role I've recently given up because I need to go focus on South. But I am still a deputy general secretary, and I'm still responsible for information and public communication as the spokesperson for that in the shadow cabinet that Mark Golding has put together. So yes, communication is my bread and butter, and politics is my love.
Communication is your bread and butter, but politics is your love.
Yeah.
In wrapping up this short and spicy midday, because you will have to be over here during the election very often.
Uh-huh.
As a communication spokesperson for the party to stir the narratives that the Green Rangers will be trying to come with. What you want to be your
Absolutely.
last to your constituents today?
What I want to?
Talk to your constituents today.
Oh,
Tell you. Mm-hmm.
oh, kings and queens, prince and princesses of South St. James. This is your daughter, Nickeisha.
Yes.
You grew me. I walked the same paths you walked and are walking to school today. The
Mm-hmm.
teacher taught me still in your classrooms. The shops you shop at were the shops that used to trust me food when we couldn't afford it. The rivers and the streams you drink from are the same rivers and streams that fed me. The
Mm.
where you get your yam, your dasheen, your badu from, same soil that nurtured me and fed me. You are me. I am you. I'm telling you that you have asked me to do this job, and I have not regretted it since I've taken this on. I do not look at it as a small task at all. I know that what I've embarked upon is something that is scary. But if it didn't scare me, I wouldn't believe in it so much. I wouldn't believe that together we are going to make a difference in our South St. James. I believe in you and the faith you have expressed in me. I'm going to use that to fuel me and this South Heart plan that we have for the constituency. We're going to make South St. James the model for rural development. You see, when them look upon South St. James and say, place can transform, so them
Mm.
bought it. Singapore go come and try emulate it. Other
Mm.
countries are gonna wanna be South St. James. We
Mm.
are the Caribbean. We're the gem of Jamaica. We're the gem of South St. James. And I'm gonna be your loudest advocate, your loudest voice, championing your cause and working shoulder to shoulder with you to help us realize our truest potential. Heart of love always from your Nickeisha Burchell.
Wow. Why Jamaica should know if you sell a plan and vision for sure. It was a solid interview. It was a solid time having this discussion with you. Which high school you went to?
Mount Alvernia. Hi.
Oh, you're Mount Alvernian. Okay.
I am.
Oh, and Gabby went to St. James for girls.
Montego Bay High. But if you could just allow me, the young lady who was killed, the UTech student, I learned she also went to Mount Alvernia High. And I just want to let her family know and her community know
And
that
it's
my heart is with her. And really, we're gonna work on the law to ensure that there is safety and protection for our young people or
Mhm.
old people, children, because this is not the Jamaica that she suffered for or battered through high school and trying to make the best for herself and her family for. It tears me up inside and we're going to do our best to make sure we don't have a repeat of this if we can avoid it.
Wow. Sad note to end on, but thank you, Nickeisha.
Thank you. Enjoy the rest of your day and your soup.
And when you become the next information minister, I hope you will make bloggers like myself given the opportunity to come to cabinet press briefings to ask those questions.
You're not allowed now?
I don't know if bloggers are allowed now to go to cabinet meetings, press briefings. So I'm hoping that you will change the format so that it's not just traditional journalists who will be able to sit and ask those questions.
Well, you can count that as my first commitment, not yet having the job, but that's my first commitment. The way of the world has changed, and any information minister or government who do not recognize that and recognize the importance of what you do, people like you as well, then they are staying in the background of where technology is going, where the world is going, and soon they're going to be tuned out. Absolutely. It would be our pleasure to have you guys at our press conferences when we're in office.
We're holding you to account.
Please do.
But
please
walk good. Go on back
good.
to the constituency now. Me know you go put on your nice little and you.
Aye. I will. Bye.
All right. Bless you now. Bless
Blessings.
you. Bless you. Jamaica, I hope you all enjoyed this short interview today with Nickeisha Burchell. It was a pleasure being here with you all. Boy, I'm tired, but I could not. You hearing me now? You hearing me now, Jamaica? Are you hearing me now? So I hope you all enjoyed the program today. It was a pleasure being here with you all. It was a pleasure being here with you all. I'm heading back into the kitchen to wrap up some activities, but I will see you all tonight. I'm sure I will give another steamy class tonight. So come back for PDTV News Jamaica. Until then, my name is Andre Stevens, tuning out now from PDTV Midday Connections. Bye now, guys.